welcome back to another episode of We the Panel, a Terrace House Podcast. My name's Tim, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Cheska. How's it going?
Hello. I'm underwater, so it's going great for me.
Our resident Atlantean. Nice.
Oh, sure.
As well as Mr. Jason, our silver hair fox. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm a fox now.
Yeah, what do you say?
Moo. Wait, I screwed that up.
What?
Anyways, I'm a fox. What's up, Tim? What's up, Cheska?
Nice.
What's up? How's everyone doing? I'm doing good. Right, I am ready to talk about this episode.
Yes.
I'm hyped.
And last but certainly not least, our sound engineer and questions man. What's up, James? How you doing, bud?
Hello, I'm doing good. I'm chilling. Yeah, I've been paying attention to Reddit, and we've gotten some cool feedback. And yeah, things are gonna look a little differently. But I'm just ready to get it started.
Yeah, let's hop right into it. But before we start, to all of our audio listeners and podcast listeners, our podcast is now not just on YouTube, but also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. Yeah, you can catch all this podtastic stuff on all and anywhere you get your podcasts. So yeah, remember not to forget.
Thanks. Won't forget.
Oh,
All right.
Wait. Hold on. Can I ask something first?
Yeah, sure.
How are you, Tim?
Oh, me? Oh. Everyone asks, like, what's the Tim, not how's the Tim?
Yeah. What's up, man? I like your shirt.
Thank you.
It's like one of my
thank you.
favorite condiments.
Yeah, man. Sriracha gang for life. Yo, I've been doing good, man. You know, doing the best, vibing. Yeah.
Let me just say, I love the podtastic pun.
I just came up with that on the fly.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It just came to me. I don't know. All right.
Anyway, let's get to the episode, shall
Let's
we?
get to it. Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah. So as Tim said, we are going to be talking about Terrace House, Boys and Girls Next Door, episode 21, titled Two Love Triangles.
Dang.
Love
Oh, what?
triangles.
It's like a second to
He
make a
did
triangle.
He basically did a circle.
Honestly, just doing that now, I was like, wait, this is like a pretty ugly triangle. So I was like, I feel
See?
you.
Okay.
I feel you.
We're just not going to try.
Yeah.
For all our audio listeners, we're just making triangles with our hands.
And
God.
Cheska's in water. It's crazy, y'all.
Yeah, she is underwater. Yeah.
There's so many fishes around me. It's going amazing for me.
It's going swimmingly.
Swimmingly.
Swim warmly.
Swim warmly.
Okay. Enough about fish and
Mhm.
triangles and whatever else. Let's just get into the episode. So, the episode starts as it always does with you and Tori-chan now in a studio, which is great. Doing a little recap. So, what happened last episode? We got to meet Oji, our beautiful prince. We got to we got to learn about Daiki's secret and how he got exposed by Sena. However, today's episode starts with everyone in the kitchen except for Tecchan, I believe. And they're kind of just like talking, and Oji and Momo say that, you know, they're fans of each other. There's some like
Ooh.
flirting, not flirting happening, but we digress.
Enchanté.
But the entire time we see that Hannah is surprisingly quiet. Interesting. So then we move on to the boxing gym where we get to see Daiki talking to his coach about the girls that he's suddenly into. And the coach says something like very interesting, like something that stuck out to me, in which he said, "He who runs after two hares will catch neither.
That is a Japanese proverb right
Ho, you are not wrong there. You are not wrong there. But at the end of the scene, he is told not to worry about that, but he should have his mind set on his match, of course.
there.
But then we move on to the other side of the relationship, where we see Hannah and her friend talking about the whole situation between them two. And she talks about how Daiki does have his superstition about not having a girlfriend or else it's going to affect his career. But there is the possibility that it may be broken and or breaking now. So then we move back to the house where we see Hana making breakfast in front of Daiki and a little bit later Momo. And you can just see like Daiki is enamored by the sounds of her cutting vegetables. And it's great. He's just sitting there at the table, just watching her make the food. And the food, once again, delicious looking,
Wow.
probably delicious tasting. But then we get to see one thing that's different from a few of the past episodes, where it actually cuts back to Tori-chan and you back in the studio. And they talk about how Hannah has been like so quiet around him. But it's interesting because it seems that Daiki is completely oblivious to the whole situation. And they also said that like Hana making like breakfast for him still is her attempt to possibly win him over. So now my question for you guys is, or well, I have kind of two questions here, is what should Daiki do now that he's in his situation? You know, he talked to his coach and his coach said, one, not to worry about it, but two, that he who runs after two hares will catch neither. So if you were Daiki, what would you guys do?
I would try to solve it right away because going into a competition, you don't want that stress on you. Right? But then again, there could be like more stress in terms of like the falling out of like choosing one girl over the other. And that could probably hurt him in the competition. But I feel like regardless, he's gonna have to deal with the stress. But I feel like it would be better to get it out of the way.
But would you like confront Hana like right then and there, or would you want to like deal with the other situation of the other girl first?
I would have. Hold on. I think I would just tell Hana straight up, like, hey, I like you, but there is another girl that I'm interested in. I know this is it's gonna hurt her because it's already hurting her right now, but Tim's face. But
No, that's not what I do.
I mean, from a girl, I would love to hear it. Like from my own female like perspective, I would love to hear it first.
True.
Right?
True.
I don't know. How about you, Tim?
See, if I was Daiki, I wouldn't have told Sena. So in this scenario, I already talked to Sena about like what's happened. Okay, that changes things because personally, talking to Sena already opens a can of worms, right? It's kind of like making it real, so to speak. Like he's got this competition. It's a championship bout fight. Like personally, for me, I'd be focused on that and only that. Secure the bag, like like. Do what you got to do. That's his career. Fighting is his career. And so like he needs to prioritize that. And he's come so far, or in this case, I've come so far that like I would focus on that. Like this, and then whatever happens afterwards happens. But since he told Sena and Sena already told Hana and everything, I'd just be straight up and be like, hey, Hana, like, I do really like you, or like, I like you, but like, I need to focus on this right now. Can we like do like, I don't know, how far is this championship fight from this point? Like a week?
We're not really sure, but at the same time, you do need to remember at this point, Daiki is completely oblivious. He doesn't really know that Sena's told Hana yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So as someone that doesn't really know what's happening on that side, but he knows that he does still have like two girls that he's into, but he also has this fight. So it's like being completely oblivious what would you do in that situation?
I still tell him straight up, like, no, like I'm focusing on this. Whatever I'm gonna do with relationship wise is happening after I win that title.
Mm-hmm.
Not if I win that title, after I win that title.
Yeah. I just wish Daiki was more honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jay?
How about you,
Something's not
Jay?
right with that guy. I don't know.
Wait, hold
Right
on,
about
Jay.
Daiki. What up?
Do you think he's the new Masato?
Stop.
No, not at all.
No.
I refuse.
No.
Can you not talk about that guy for
Leagues above.
Can we literally not talk about it? I know you're in the ocean right now, and that's where he hangs out.
Used to.
We don't know. Honestly, I wish him well, but like, can we just not talk about that dude for one episode? Because he's gonna come back.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Right.
You don't know when.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
Anyways, Daiki, I think something's a little off about him. Like, I agree. Like, if I was Daiki, I'd really just focus on the match, but it's really bothering him.
I think I know why.
And it's kind of interesting because the fact that he likes two girls, he's not gonna be all like on Hana, but like, I like you, Hana, because I don't even think he likes Hana that way. He is interested, but based on what we've watched those last 21 episodes of Terrace House, when you say you like someone in that Japanese culture, it's huge. It's like you're putting your money, your marbles all in. And I don't think Daiki's ready to put that into the table. So and I kind of want to know who this mystery girl is. And we do find out later on in an episode, like, who she is, right? Like, vaguely.
Yeah.
Right? Which is pretty interesting because what we find out, he's into models.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. If I was Daiki, like, yeah, I would agree with Tim, like, just focus on the match, but it's kind of weird just because, like, it's really bothering him, and it really shows how his mannerisms is. If it's something really bothers it, he's the type of guy that's like pretty assertive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out how like he talked to Seina about like this situation. Seina's literally doing laundry, and he's just like, okay, let me fix that. He helps the laundry. Can we talk now? Right? So like, very assertive, but how I see it too is very impatient, or like he can't wait. So it's like double edge, I guess. But yeah, I would just totally focus on the match. Yeah.
But here's my thing. I feel like he won't focus on the match unless it's done. Like, his feelings needs to be sorted out before he fights. And that's why he hasn't been in a relationship all this time.
There you go.
Right?
Maybe
Yeah.
he's just like really horny.
I don't think so. I don't think he would have. I don't think he has no problem like meeting girls. Like, honestly, he's an attractive dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's already like a conversation starter of what he does. Honestly, it's very interesting.
Right, but
So, like, you know, and maybe all this time he's been really focused on like this match. But imagine you went to Terrace House. The whole world is watching you now. Now you have to think about that aspect before even going into Terrace House, right? Like, now there's that aspect of your life now where you're like, oh man, I'm a public figure. So like, there's certain things like, do I have to look good for the public? Whatever I do in the show will affect on how I am. And it sucks because these people, what we see on TV, on like the show, is only a side of them. They're not really who they are, right? So keep that in mind. So it's pretty hard. Like, I don't know. Like, we could all say that, you know, what would you do if you were Daiki? But we're not Daiki. That's why we're just like four of us. That's specific different things, right? So it's really interesting. But I think there's something about him not like, yeah. I think there's something going on in the background about Daiki. I don't know. What about you, James? Like,
yeah, it's kind of weird because like Hana, like, I'm just looking at the one scene that we've seen, or I guess like the two scenes that we've seen, like, you can tell that Hana's kind of, I wouldn't say distancing herself from Daiki, but just overall isn't like acting like herself, right? And the fact that Daiki really, or at least it doesn't look like Daiki can see it, is kind of like odd to me, because it's just like, hey, like, I understand that you have a lot of things going on for yourself, but like, you can tell that like your girl isn't acting how she always is. So like, why would you not confront her about it? Like, if you put two and two together, it's like, hey, your girl isn't acting how she usually does, and I just told someone this problem that I've had that has to do with my girl. So it's like, if you can put two and two together, then you realize that like you're probably the problem. So you should be going up to her and talking to her about it. And it's just the whole fact that like he's so oblivious, and I feel like he's non no, that's a lie. I don't think he's non-confrontational, but he's just such a I feel like he's such a nice guy that he just hasn't thought of even doing something like that. So I don't know. It's a tough situation for him because he has a lot going on, both in his love life and his professional career. So I like, but at the same time, I don't want to give this guy a pass because he's like, he's I wouldn't say hurting, but he's affecting this girl that's also on the show. But I don't know. We will digress to the next set of scenes if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daiki's sus. I'm playing.
Oh,
Who plays
no,
Among
man.
Us? Oh my
Okay.
god, he's the sus.
I got a point to add to what you said, but I think it would be better context after we get the next scene or the next set of scenes.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
So let's hop right into it.
Yeah. So speaking of the next scene, we get to see Sena showing up at her photo shoot.
Ooh.
And it was really cool that we got to see her like finally kind of like doing another aspect of what she wants in her career. Like like we do know that she's had like this hard time kind of getting into like photo shoots and stuff like that with magazines, and she's now finally doing something like that, and she's putting on more of like a cute character, I guess. She's told to smile more in the scene, but as an overall, it just looked like she was killing it, so that was cool. However, once she gets home, she runs into Daiki, and Daiki wants to have a conversation with her. And that's when Sena tells Daiki that she told Hana about the entire situation. And you can tell that Daiki is completely surprised. And like he thinks that it's like super awkward now. However, Sena said that she thinks that it's a good thing. But he has to tell her, or has to tell Hana that he likes her, because Hana's actually like really confused and he has to make the move. And from there, we actually move to, we get to see Yu and Tori-chan once again, talking about how Daiki kind of realized what he did wrong, and he said himself that he's going to make it right, which is really cool. So then, we get to the guys' room, where Daiki talks to them and tells them that he's going to ask Hana on a date. And there's this little funny scene where Tecchan asked if he needs help, and Daiki was straight up like, hey, cause I'm not you, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be good. I'll be good. And then, of course, he goes straight to the girls' room and is super blunt about it. He asks Hana out, and she says yes, and it works out really well. So then Hana talks to Sena about how she's nervous because she can tell that this date is going to be very different. So now, my big question for you guys is, it's not really a question. It's more of a it's more of an analyzation. So we've seen two guys ask girls out on a date, like officially. We got to see Daiki do it, and of course we got to see Tecchan do it. And I just wanted to pick your brains on how you guys would like compare and contrast like these two situations. So to give context, Daiki's situation is like, of course, like he's going through a lot, and he has two girls, and just think about like how he asked Hana, how he was like super blunt about it, and how she said yes right away and all that kind of stuff, compared to Tecchan's old situation with Rie, into which, you know, Tecchan doesn't really know what he's doing, but also he was asking out a girl that wasn't really into him. So what do you guys think? Like, compare and contrast these two and give me your thoughts.
Oh, Tecchan. Oh, Tecchan. Okay. So, Tecchan has learned a lot in his journey in this show.
Oh yeah, hands down.
And the best time he ever asked someone out was kind of similar to how Daiki did it. Reach out. We're talking about reach out, right? So like
Rie, yeah.
Rie,
Yeah, Rie.
you know, just in her room doing her thing, da-da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden, Tecchan, hey, Rie, what are you doing? Like he didn't say it this smoothly, but like he was pretty assertive, like compared to the other times he asked her out, and that was the most successful time. Like
It worked.
it seemed like it worked because Rie was like, oh, she was kind of surprised when it happened, right? Like,
yeah, she was.
oh, yeah,
What
and
is this? Nothing.
yeah, and it worked out really well, you know. So like, it's kind of similar with Daiki, right? Goes in instead of just the person alone, like Seina's right beside, but in the end, it's few words. Hey, let's go on a date. Boom, worked out really well, and I guess it's a little easier because Daiki does know, like because he had that conversation with Seina, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like given on a silver platter. All he really needed to do
hands
was
down.
to ask. Like, literally, just ask.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Hana didn't even need to say yes, even though she was like, she couldn't even talk. She's just like, like, the mask on, right? Like, it was given. So, like, I don't know. I think Daiki got it easier compared to Tecchan because Tecchan, man, yeah, rough, dude.
Hands down. Hands
Rough.
down.
Rough, but like he's learned. He's asking more questions now. He's a bit more assertive. Like, you know, he's not just like passive about it. But still, I feel like he just thinks too much and he just needs to go straight to the point because like what Cheska said, as a female, like you rather hear it, you know? It means more when you hear it instead of just
Mhm.
wondering. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. What do you guys think?
No,
My bad.
waiting, making
My
sure
bad.
that you were done with your
My
thought
bad.
process.
Yes.
Yeah, with Daiki, it's like, yeah, it wasn't handed to him on a silver platter, but even like if he didn't know that Hannah said something, like it takes a kind of sort of personality to get punched in the face for a career. So like he's just going in headstrong. Like even if Seina didn't tell him, but like, or Seina didn't tell him that Hana liked him back, I'm sure he would have just went all out and did it just because that's his personality. Yeah, a lot of parallels. I just feel like between the two ways each gentleman asked out the girl or the lady. One has way more experience. I feel like Daiki's, just done it a bunch more in terms of
But
just asking
has
people
he?
out.
But has
How-
he?
how do
he
you
hasn't,
know
he hasn't
that?
dated a girl in 5 years.
Yeah.
He's like what, 3-4 years older than Tecchan?
No, he's
Tecchan's
he's like a year older, isn't he?
oh,
Yeah.
I think he's like 21 at the time.
someone fact check. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like Daiki just I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in considering that, but like I know for a fact that Tecchan probably like never asked out a girl. Just from his mannerisms, and he's like, "Can you guys teach me?" And then we had to play out like Shota and Masato. So I mean, right?
For the
Like,
record, they weren't the best teachers, though.
No, they weren't.
fine. No, they really weren't. They really were not the best teachers. But like, I don't know, from the way Daiki went, like, "I'm not you. I think I got this," and then just went and did it.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes of like saying how much more experience he has than Tecchan. What do you think, Chess?
Okay, can I say one thing from the previous episode?
Yeah,
Sure.
totally. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
get
you
into
guys
it.
didn't like that Seina told Hana about
Jason was for it. Me and James think she crossed the line.
okay.
Right, James? Right?
man.
Yeah? Okay,
'Cause
cool.
you guys know that you guys have a bro code, right?
More or less.
Yeah.
Well,
We're bros.
Same as girls. Girls more or less have a girl code, and if a situation is gonna hurt one of our girlfriends, we're gonna tell them. In my opinion, I would do the same thing as Seina, because I know it's gonna hurt Hana just
Okay.
to protect her.
Okay, I'm going off tangent here. So let's say you have a really close guy friend, right?
Mhm.
that I don't know, you live with them or something.
Okay.
You have the
A
same
roommate of sorts.
a roommate of sorts. You have this conversation, same thing that happened with Daiki and Sena. But in the end, the guy's like, can you keep this on the DL? Would you respect that? Or
Okay,
would you still tell your girl?
this is what I'm gonna tell my guy friend. I'm gonna be like, as you know, I'm the type of person that would probably tell my girlfriend that if
So is that a yes or a no, Chess?
Yeah.
I guess it is. Just I'm gonna just say that.
There you go.
So what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna tell the guy friend that I respect his decision, but I know it's gonna hurt her. So either you tell her or I will.
Wow. Even though the guy's like keeping on the DL.
Yeah, because like I know it's like if it's wrong, then it's
Okay.
wrong. I'm gonna tell my friend about that because it's gonna hurt her in the end.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh my god.
I don't know why he's dancing, but
No,
either.
Okay,
but I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I'm working out her thought process. I had to dance it out. You know what? You were way more upfront about what you were going to do with the knowledge you had than Sena was. So.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, with Sena, I would have told Daiki that, like, if this is gonna hurt Hana, I'm gonna tell her. Because I feel like that's where she was coming from.
Right.
And, like, in my opinion, I would just tell Daiki, like, either you tell her that you like another girl as well as her, or I'm gonna tell her because, you know. You don't want to see Hana like get hurt. Look at her in the beginning of the episode. It made me really upset.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have been that way if Sena didn't say anything.
But she's not mad at Sena. She's mad at Daiki.
Yeah,
She's confused at Daiki.
Because Sena
No.
talked. Because Sena talked. No,
I feel like
I'm a Cheska with this one. No.
I'm just pointing out. Like,
No, keep going. No, I get it. Yeah.
Like,
but I'm with Cheska, like.
Yeah, like I understand Cheska's point of view, but Hannah wouldn't have been acting that way if Sena didn't say anything. Granted, I'm not saying Sena shouldn't have said anything. I agree with what you would have done. What you would have done was inform both parties, hey, y'all gotta do something here because something's like twisted. But yeah, I mean, Sena did cause some sort of aftermath of what she did. I don't think.
I mean,
Sena's
like she
innocent.
started something that should have been done by Daiki.
Yeah, like.
Okay.
Like, in the end, why would you want to bring Sena into it all this time when you could have just done it from the start?
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, James? What you thinking? I see him. He's like,
I've quite a few things to say.
Go for it, James.
First things first, slightly off topic. Daiki is 3 years older than Tecchan.
Oh.
So that gives a little bit of context for Tim's thing. But also, Sena telling Hana basically sped up the timeline for Hana and Daiki's relationship. And I'm saying that as a negative thing. Because I agree with Tim that like if Sena didn't tell Hana, then Hana wouldn't be confused because she wouldn't even know if Daiki likes her or not. Because Hana's confused because Daiki does like her, right? If she didn't know at all, then I don't think it would affect her to the extent that this situation is actually affecting her right now. With that being said, I do kind of agree that like Daiki should have told her this from the beginning, but at the end of the day, he didn't. And whether he does or doesn't, or I feel like if he told her from the beginning, then she wouldn't be feeling this way. If he didn't tell her from the beginning and Sena didn't tell her from the beginning, she wouldn't feel this way. It's the fact that Sena is the one that told her that like she's feeling this way. And I feel like Daiki told Sena because he just needed someone to talk to, right? Like you guys always have that one friend that like you can talk to about anything. And I guess in this situation, like Daiki thought that Sena was that
Could be the
person.
confidant.
Yeah, and also
Right.
Daiki is so oblivious to a bunch of things that he didn't know that there was a girl code. So I don't think that's on him, but at the end of the day, Daiki realized his mistake, and now he's gonna try to fix it, which is a great thing.
Well put, James. Well put. Well put. Well put.
Oh, and okay, so
Word.
with that Daiki and Tecchan comparison, I feel like Daiki was like he was blunt to Hana, not only because of his personality, but I think he was also trying to prove a point to Sena. And
Great
like
point.
yeah. And like with Tecchan, he was trying to prove a point to himself and to his housemates that he can ask Rie out on a date.
Wait, hold on, guys. You think Hana's just acting this way because she's actually legit like sick? In this
Or like yeah,
Oh,
we
it's
just
a combination. I feel like it's a
Another
combination.
thing
The
that
the heartbreak caused the sickness.
Oh.
that's I heard that's actually a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
You can die from a broken heart. It's quite tragic.
okay, I don't know if you can die.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't.
A
Elderly
broken heart.
couples. Like for a couple who's been together for 50 years and let's say your spouse dies and you're like 82, 83 with prior health conditions, that could
Oh,
just
yeah, that
push you
makes
over the
sense.
edge.
So you
and then-
think Hana has this?
No, I'm just saying, like it's a
I've been cooking food for him. Now he knows I like him. Such despair.
Anyway, moving on. So we get to this next scene, which is very, I don't know. I don't have a lot of words to describe a lot of things other than interesting. But this is a very
Right.
interesting scene. And you
peculiar.
guys are gonna see why. So it starts with the guys going out for dinner. Tecchan, Oji, and Daiki, of course. I wanted to mention Oji because we don't see a lot of him this episode. So
No, we don't.
Oji, your shout out. And speaking of Oji,
Hooray.
as they're eating dinner, Tecchan is straight up like, "Hey, you like girls, right?" And Tecchan says some other things that I will not say for the fact
Yeah.
that my parents are in the next room. So yeah.
Also
I'll
YouTube.
say it.
Also YouTube.
I'll say it.
And
So,
Jesus is
like,
watching you right beside you. I see you, Jesus.
over your left shoulder.
He's right here.
I'll say it. He was like, so like you, like I'm sure you
Hey,
What?
YouTube.
I don't think we're gonna get demonetized for that.
We're not gonna
Okay.
get demonetized
I don't know.
In general, so.
for saying aroused. Well, I mean, it was translated to aroused, but it probably meant like, yeah, right? Is that the word that you were worried about? Aroused?
In my notes, it's something a little bit more than that.
Just
but-
say it, and we can bleep you out.
No, it's fine. Well, just he says some
Aw.
things, and basically Oji says like, "Yeah, I'm straight." But then as a transition, Tecchan asks Daiki the same question, and Daiki's like, "Yeah, of course, I want to spend time with girls every day." And this transitions into a talk about Daiki and Hana, and Daiki talks about how Sena basically exposed him, and then we actually get to learn a bit about this this mystery girl from outside the house.
Right,
So she is
Sena.
No.
She is. Sorry.
So-
She is.
She is his sister's friend, who also just so happens to be a model.
Oh.
But then Daiki says that he asked Hana out because he wanted to be alone with her and wants to make the decision before his big match, which of course is like, that's information that we already know, but he wants to be alone with her. And we'll see why in the next scene. In the next scene, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. You're good.
Yes.
Yeah, where we get to see Tecchan and Hana talking in the kitchen briefly about the date. And there was a very interesting caption here which said feelings with an unknown cause. I wonder what that's about. We'll find out about it later. So Daiki and Hana finally get to go on their date. And it was really cute. They got to go strawberry picking. They played this cute game of how many strawberries can you fit in your mouth. And yeah, like it's a really great time. Like we haven't seen Hana this happy in a few episodes, so it's been really cool to see that.
Wasn't she happy like last episode? Sorry to like interrupt.
No, well, okay, well, no. But she was like towards the end of the episode, you know, you could tell that like she was like surprised at least, and I don't know, like she was also just like kind of under the weather for the past couple episodes, so I don't know. But
From a broken
anyways,
heart.
they end their date at the Yokohama Marine Tower for some dinner.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of just talking, a little small talk, and Daiki says that like he doesn't really get to go out with any of his female friends. And when Hana asks why, it's because he says that he sees his female friends as potential girlfriends. And Hana says it's interesting because she thinks the opposite way. She has a lot of guy friends and she goes out with them just informally, like just to chill, I guess you could say. And Daiki, with the smoothness, asks if she sees him as a potential boyfriend. And Hana is like hesitating and she dodges the question. And then we cut to a scene of Yu and Tori-chan where they talk about how they think that Daiki may have asked because he now knows that she knows that there's another girl. So there's the possibility that he's testing her. And they were like, I would love for Hana to answer with "you tell me." That would stir up some tea. So my question for you guys is, do y'all think that's what he asked? And do you think there's like a different game here that's being played between Daiki and Hana? Like, do you think that Daiki planned for this to happen? What do you guys think?
One of them is playing chess and the other one's playing checkers. I don't know who's who.
Just wanted to say that.
Okay, wait, Tim, then let me say this. Tim, let me ask you this. Do you think Hana is playing chess?
No.
Great answer.
Actually, Daiki's playing chess and she's playing checkers. I think.
Oh.
Because I think that Daiki's pressing because he's like, okay, I know you know that there's another girl now. I want to see if that changes anything about how you feel about me. Because some girls would be like, oh, am I not the only one you're after? All right, peace, cut off, done, canceled. He's trying to see if Hana's like that. And whether or not, I don't know, that's just my speculation.
So you think he is testing her?
I think so. I think it was he's letting out some line. He's gonna see if she bites, but she dodged that question pretty skillfully, I will say. But he's just straight up just answered the question after the fact. Also like to point out, I think I could be mistaken, but I think Hana said that she goes out with like she goes out with a lot of her friends that are like, you know, she sees just as friends, but she says there's a couple that could be more, like there's two piles. And then that's when Daiki was like, oh yeah, so which one am I? Oh, all right, what do you think, Chess?
If he is testing her, I think it's dumb.
Yikes.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I think it was very unnecessary to test her. But then again, he's so oblivious that he didn't even notice her kind of getting hurt. Like, I feel like Hana's answer was just to protect herself because
she doesn't want to admit it.
Well, no, not that. It's like if he ends up going for the other girl.
Oh, she put herself out there, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
But maybe Daiki doesn't know that. Like, maybe Daiki's also just asking, like, oh, do you still like me? Now that you know that, like, there's you and another girl. Like, has that changed anything?
Like,
maybe he's just asking. It's, you know, I don't know.
Like, this is where I'm like, Hana's more in playing chess than checkers. Going with this analogy again. Like, just because, like, Daiki is so oblivious. Yes, he's calculated, but a very oblivious person. And Hana, the thing with Hana is that she notices a lot of things. Like, so I don't know. I feel like she would go into like people's tells and like try to figure out how she's going to react to it. Well, Daiki, since he didn't even notice how like Hana is feeling, he's like just going to go with his calculated way. I don't know if that made sense, but
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Jay, what do you think? You're sitting there, and I feel like there are things that are turning in your head. So, what do you think?
I feel like sometimes we're mistaking Daiki's confidence with his obliviousness.
Yep.
You know, like we're like, oh, that's a 5-head move from a calculated guy, but really, is it though? I think he's just kind of rolling with the punches. Just, you know, he's used to that. But I don't think anyone's really playing chess. I think they're just playing checkers, and the reason why they're playing this game is because they don't want the person in this point. The person who says the most vulnerability is the one that's gonna lose. So that's why you're getting that interaction of Daiki asking about, "Ooh, how do you really feel?" But of course, Hana's not gonna say that because this is technically their first date, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in your first.
They
date,
say it as their second,
right?
But it's their first date.
It's their first date, right?
It's their official date.
I don't know. If I was on a first date with the girl in that kind of situation, I don't want to give out all my cards at play.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I guess like as a woman, like a lady, right? She doesn't want to put her heart out there already. Like it's hard being vulnerable, especially on a first date.
Oh
You
yeah.
are either like you're really into the person, or like what's your game here? So what's your game? So like it's interesting because it's like their flirtatiousness or like how their chemistry right now is really nice. But I do agree with Cheska that like if Daiki's testing her, what? Why? Like what do you like? What else do you need to prove? Like the girl has been cooking food for you.
Yeah.
She's showing
Exactly.
interest. Like Daiki, come on, get the program. Come on, dude. Like, I get it. You haven't been in the game for 4 years because you've been focusing on punches, and I do think he's calculated because if you've been in, like, if you're like fighting, right? Like, you gotta like have a flow chart or at least a logic in your system on whether you like, you know, back away, counter. Like, there is a science to it, right? And I don't think Daiki's not that oblivious, but like, come on, man, why are you testing this girl? Like, you have more. Technically, he has more information about Hana because he knows that she knows. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I think it's unfair for Hannah to be tested by Daiki.
Yeah, I completely agree.
If he is testing her and not just asking what's up.
Yeah. But like, again, he landed, like, based on how they were talking, the conversation led to these questions, which is great content.
I love great content. Smooth transition.
Exactly.
So what pile am I in? Oh.
Yeah, and it's like from one punch from the other. It's like, oh, I hang out with a lot of guys, but I don't see them as, you know, more than just friends. And of course, if I was in Daiki's situation, I would take that opportunity and be like, oh, but what about me? That's a great question. And of course, Hana's like, this is lovely. Sorry, what did you say? What did you say? Like, again. But what do you think, James? Yeah.
It's I don't know. I got like there are a bunch of points that a lot of y'all said that I definitely agree with, and a bunch of points that I disagree with, of course. But to me, I feel like Daiki was just kind of like he was just trying to be like slick, you know, like as soon as she mentioned that like she sees some as boyfriends, some not as boyfriends, then he was like, oh, this is my chance to be suave. So am I a potential boyfriend? What do you think? Like I don't think he was like planning for this to happen. I feel like it just happened, and I think he was just kind of going off the fact that she was hesitant to answer it or kind of shy to answer it. And so when she was like backing off, he's like, aren't you answering the question, huh? Like just like just to be like flirtatious or just to be like smooth about it. So yeah, I don't know, like I don't think he's I don't want to say smart enough, but I don't think he's like conniving enough to actually plan out that like specific situation. but I don't know, because we never really hear Hannah answer that question.
You are right.
It's like Daiki, of course, he's just soaking in all of this information, but we don't really know what Hana says. So we don't really know what information Daiki has soaked up, if that makes any sense. Yeah. But we shall now move on to the final set of scenes here, which get like probably biggest plot twist of I was gonna say biggest plot twist of the season, but I mean that plot twist from last episode is pretty like whew. So let's say biggest plot twist of the episode, which doesn't sound as great, but alas, here we go. Back at the house during their date, Tecchan and Sena are sitting at the kitchen table, talking about how Daiki and Hana's date could potentially be going right now, and Sena's like, hey. Maybe there was so much tension that they just started kissing. Tecchan's like, I don't know about that, man. I don't think that happened. And Sena's like, oh, why do you think that? And Tecchan's like, it could be a little more complicated. And Sena's like, why would it be complicated? And then Tecchan's like, oh, because I think something, ellipses. And then Sena's like, do you like Hana? So Sena thinks that Tecchan likes Hana. And as soon as she says that, it cuts back to you and Tori-chan, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry we didn't notice it too. And then it cuts right back to the table, where Tecchan's like, I don't like her, like, romantically, but I can't keep my eyes off of her. But Tecchan also says that like he's happy for them, for Daiki and Hana, if they end up together, and then he doesn't really give like an ending to that phrase. And then there's like a slow little cut back to the Daiki and Hana date, where like they're sitting at like what looked like the same like spot that Tecchan and Rie ended their date. But I could just be saying that because it's nighttime there. But yeah, and they're just kind of enjoying their company. But then it cuts back to Tecchan and Sena, and Tecchan tells Sena specifically to keep it a secret. And Sena says that Tecchan is holding back because of Daiki. And I really quick wanted to highlight the last couple lines in the entire episode.
Okay.
So it starts with Sena saying, "You gotta fight for what you want too." And Tecchan's like, if there really is a girl that I like, I definitely want to make her mine. And then the episode ends. And there's no if I lay here, it's just complete silence. So, with this new potential plot twisting information, my question for you guys is, does Tecchan have a chance? No. Okay, but think about it. About it.
Okay, here's my thing. If Hana is done with bad boys, then she will fall for Tecchan.
Not even bad boys, just Daiki. If she
I would
Daiki.
Is Daiki a bad boy, or is he just a soft boy with like hard fists?
I mean, in like the Terrace House context, just like the 6 of them, yes, he is the bad boy out of the 3 guys there.
Hana will eat Tecchan up. Like,
I think the way it went about it is like, I mean, like, Tecchan probably finds her attractive, like hands down. Like, new girl in the house. He probably has a closer connection with Momo and Sena, so he probably like does not look at them in that way whatsoever. Oh, new pretty girl in the house. He's probably like, oh yeah, she's really cool and like all that. But I feel that the key to his feelings is the way he phrased the last sentence. If there is a girl, right, the way how'd you say it, James?
If there really is a girl that I like, I definitely want to make her mine.
Yeah, and he's not doing that. He said he'd be happy if they're happy. You know, like it just so happens that maybe Tecchan would be like, oh, if the opportunity presents itself, then yeah, I'll take a chance. But like, oh, okay, no, Daiki was just the first one to bat, and it's working out well. He's not going to fight for it because he doesn't really want to make Hana his.
So then, okay, let's say hypothetically,
Mm.
if things don't work out with Daiki and Hana, right, and all of a sudden Hana's available,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think that Teichan's at least going to give it a try?
I think Tecchan would give it a shot. I mean, why not? I mean, I think he'd be the type to like talk to Daiki about it first beforehand, because it's like, hey, bud, I know you have feelings and we're cool and we're friends, but like, I also want to see what happens. But also, yeah, Jay's right. Hana would eat Tecchan alive. Like,
Okay, but here's my argument. Haven't you noticed that Tecchan is into girls that have a higher authority than him?
that's true, but like Hana is not
Oh.
into guys who are like Tecchan.
Yeah.
He hands down said at the very
You're right.
beginning, she's like, I think they asked Hana what she thought of Tecchan when they went grocery shopping for the first time. She's like, oh yeah, he's so quiet, blah blah. Like she's more into outgoing guys. Like,
See, but that was at the start of the season. Okay,
That's-
this is new and improved season 2 Tecchan.
okay.
The guy that straight up just asked Soji, hey, are you gay? No? Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. All right. I also like to point out was you and Tori-chan?
Tori-chan, yeah.
Yes.
You and Tori-chan were like, oh, how did we not see it sooner? See what? Nothing happened between them. Unless there's some like director's cut, some Schneider cut that we didn't see of the past couple episodes, I do not see any connection between Tecchan.
Okay,
Are you-
but here's my thing. Haven't you noticed a little bit of chemistry between Tecchan and Hana when those two hung out at the cafe like a few episodes ago?
Are you
Oh.
forgetting about the day after Valentine's Day?
I didn't see chemistry at all, guys. I did not see chemistry.
it.
No, I remember that conversation. Oh my
Yes,
god,
yes,
a
yes,
love
yeah.
confession.
Yeah, like no
What?
chemistry. I didn't see it. I saw a great
Tecchan.
friendship. I saw
But-
a great friendship, but no chemistry.
But if you think about it, why would Tecchan ask? Because remember, in that
Okay.
in that hangout
what you mean.
between the two of them, he's like, "Hey, we got the same chocolates. Did you
Yeah.
give him anything else?" And Hana's like, "Nope." And maybe internally, Tecchan was like, "Yes."
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So, like, do you guys feel like Teacher kind of liked Hana, or at least is a little bit attracted? Because that's what I got when that episode appeared. I'm like, does this guy like her?
Like I see
That's what I thought.
I see a little bit of attraction from Tecchan, but I don't think it's like full on developed feelings yet. Because again, if we're gonna take those last two lines of the whole entire episode seriously, then he doesn't have a fully developed feeling for Hana yet. But it seems like it is starting.
I am slowly getting annoyed of Tecchan.
Damn.
I am slowly kind of like with these questions, like, "Hey man, do you like girls?" Like, what? It's a little off-putting. And lately in these, which is kind of cool because it's good for the content, because he's been asking these really like not far-fetched, but like they're kind of out of the blue questions. So just kind of like, maybe this is a way of like, being more confident, which is cool, but like it's kind of getting annoying where it's like, you kind of have to read the room, my dude. Like, we can't, I love my baby boy, but we can't give him that pass all the time. He's growing up, okay?
Exactly.
Just letting you know for our audio listeners, Tim has slipped down his chair because he was very heated by all of our conversations.
Yeah, Tim,
today.
man, unmelt yourself, bro. Like, what is this,
Tim.
sir?
I just had to process what was going on.
Sir,
Tim, sit back up.
you could do this without the hand.
Oh my god, it's a naked puppet.
Oh my god. I feel like
Oh my
Tim,
god! No, like
I feel like Tim has had the most characters within our podcast.
Yeah.
We've had Tim-chan, and we've had
A talking hand,
a
Tim.
talking hand.
There's not much.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
I
Tecchan's
get
kinda
what
getting
you
annoying for me now.
mean. I get what you mean, and honestly, yeah, I can see that. I think he's still learning, though. I'm again not trying to give him a pass every time. I mean that question to OG was like, what?
Yeah.
What? But yeah, what? I don't know, but what? Sorry. Yeah, that was a stupid question to ask, but yeah, just no. I don't know. Maybe this is part of the like production where they're trying to push something more. They're trying to make it seem more than it is to give a better cliffhanger. Because like, oh my god, that's great TV. But like, it's just the way Tecchan was going about his feelings, saying if they're happy, then I'm happy. But if like like maybe he saw an opportunity to try and pursue something with a beautiful woman, and like maybe that's all it is, right? Like.
Yep.
He didn't he wasn't ready like, oh no, like this is the girl, I'm fighting for her, like I will make her mine sort of deal. Like he wasn't like that. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, the guy cemented it with that last thing. I don't think he likes her that much. And I think he's learned from like the Rie series or the era.
Yeah, he's not blowing it out of proportion, making it like a whole anime where he's the protagonist. He's like, oh, she's a pretty woman, and like I like to like she's cool to hang out with, so why not like see where it goes? But it just didn't happen that way because Daiki and Hana just hit it off first, and I guess more chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah, why can't? Sorry, one more thing. Tim, what you exactly said, why couldn't Tecchan say that to Seina instead of being all like, it's kind of complicated?
Editing. Maybe he said it's kind of complicated and he explained it.
Yeah.
There were a lot of jump cuts in between the Hana scene and him. What? No, you don't think it's editing, James? I think it's yes, I think it's editing. Yeah, hands down.
Nah.
Like, yeah, my boy beats around the bush, but I feel like if you like, he probably explained it like through maybe like a 20-minute conversation with Seina. I'm sure Seina would have like pressed. Seina would have pressed him with a bunch of questions to try and fully understand. What do you mean? We sucked. We got 2 minutes.
She pressed him with one question over and over again, and he refused to answer it. And the clearest answer that he did give was, I don't like her romantically, but I can't keep my eyes off of her. That says something.
It's a starting of feeling. It's a spark.
Infatuation.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's infatuation, but if it continues, then it could be more than an infatuation. But here's my thing. Do you think it's starting to look like those rom-coms, those teen rom-coms, like To All the Boys I Loved Before? The second movie?
I wouldn't say that. It's not that dramatic.
Okay, I mean, obviously it's not that dramatic, but think about it. It's Hana as the main character, and you have the bad boy, which is Daiki, and then the best friend, or the nice guy, which is Tecchan.
The pharmacist. No? Okay. Dang it. I missed that dude already.
Yeah, it's his second episode, and he was in it for maybe like 2 minutes max.
Next episode is a Momo OG episode.
Ooh.
I really hope so.
Oh my
I want to see that happen.
I'm kind of getting done with Tecchan. Please ask.
For now, at least. For now.
It's not his fault.
Is it though? Sorry.
Okay,
Continue,
okay, I will say this. That question to OG was definitely Tecchan and not the editing or the producers.
Okay, no.
I think that question was low-key dumb to ask.
Okay, no, that question was okay.
Oh, it's not low-key.
That okay. That like yeah, okay, like hands down, like I can't defend him on that. But at the end there, probably I'm sure there was a deep convo between them that we only got a 2-minute snippet of.
Right.
Like, I'm sure it just did not go down like that. I felt like Tecchan probably had a long, convoluted explanation trying to explain his feelings of like, you know, like, I'm not like into her, but like, she is really pretty and she's easy to talk to and blah, blah, blah. But like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's-
right? He probably worked it out with Sena. Sena probably like asked him a series of questions and that was the 2-minute highlight reel. Like, I'm sure there's a whole interview about it. Feelings don't just come like that, guys. Come on, especially for a guy who never had a girlfriend, who's only like a young 19-year-old who what?
Well, okay,
He had a
here's the
girlfriend.
thing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay,
like-
maybe
Yeah,
like
in high
3 years
school.
ago or something like that.
in high school.
Oh.
Oh, if we're going to base high school relationships now. Like,
Okay.
like, think about it. Look how much emotional maturity we all have combined through X amount of experience and how we're able to vocalize how we feel. Versus
Okay, but here's the thing. You're saying that Tecchan is just developing these feelings now. How would we know that? He only admitted it in this episode. So what if he already developed these feelings from before?
maybe he was trying to work through it. Same way Daiki was trying to figure out which girl. I don't know. Like, I don't know this.
But he already, and the thing with Daiki is like he already admit that he likes Hana.
And another girl. And, he's
And
trying to
another
figure
girl.
that out.
He's just trying to figure that situation with Tecchan is like I think he just admitted he didn't even tell anyone that he has feelings for Hana until this episode.
Okay.
Wow, this conversation got really heated.
Okay. Now, let's for predictions
Okay.
for next episode.
Yes.
Okay.
For the sake of what Tim's saying, because I like the point that you're saying about how there could be more to the conversation. What if the next episode starts from that conversation?
I would love to see that. And then I'd rip my boy in two if he said something really stupid.
Oh, really? Oh, really? He hasn't said anything stupid?
I already ripped on him for saying something stupid to OG. That was dumb.
Anything stupid? No, I
No,
get you. No.
You know,
Yeah, I get you.
like,
It'd be very disappointing if he said even more something like, "Oh my god."
maybe it was something lost in translation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he was asking if like OG's like not just what's the word I'm looking for? Cis male? No, hetero?
No.
No. What the
Feminine?
No. Maybe he's asking if he's like into both women and guys. I don't know. Like or
So
like
he's bisexual is what
Sure.
you're asking?
or like not if he's non-binary. Yeah, that's what the word. That's
Non
whatever. Maybe he was just asking if it was non-binary. Just it got lost in translate again. 2012 and through
Well,
like
2013,
weird-
but yeah.
Oh, 2013. yeah, New Year's episode. 2013, and maybe it got lost in translation. Maybe he's just asking, like, hey, are you not, like, maybe you're interested in more than just women? Like, maybe more? I don't know. Like, he does hold himself a certain way. He did go out with all the girls on girls' night. Maybe he, you know, is into both guys and girls. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe he was just asking a genuine question, and the subtitles just made it sound super stupid. I don't know. Again, just another thing to point out. Yeah, I'm not trying to defend him. If he straight up asked that, that's a stupid question. But
Yeah, didn't he ask him because he was like, "Doesn't OG kind of act weird?" Or like he acts.
He said he kind of acts feminine.
Yeah, so maybe that was the assumption.
Well, people also assumed.
Femininity.
People also thought that Tecchan was gay just because he was very shy.
I think that was just us.
No, that was a point made by you and Tori-chan.
Oh yeah.
That's what made us think
Oh,
that.
That's what made me very upset at that.
Yeah, that episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other predictions for what happens next?
I mean, I hope that Sena and Tecchan talk happens again next episode because, again, so many unanswered questions.
We're finally going to hear Momo's song.
Oh, you think?
We've heard it.
We already heard it.
We heard it
Oh,
last
that-
episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant like the whole song. The whole song.
I don't know.
We
about
saw
that.
like bits of it. Yeah,
I think we're done that arc.
we're gonna see Momo's book. Yeah, that's what we have.
Or
No.
something else again. Like
Oh,
she's I
She's a
just wanna
deep sea
see more
diver.
and I just really want to see.
It's Momo and OG episode.
I want to see
Oh, yeah.
my prince. I am kind of done with Tecchan right now, so I need some space from him. And I need to know the new Tecchan or Tetsuya. I want to see him work again.
Yeah.
and
me
and
too.
I don't mind the whole like Daiki and Hana having some like interesting conversations. This is nice. This is them like finally getting like real, you know, conversations instead of like this happiness of like state of the art. Like, you know, like I can cook for you and you can have fun while you go fight. You know,
Yeah, like the thing with
get real.
Daiki and Hana is like, I like how they're trying to figure out if they're gonna be a couple or not. Like compared to Tejan and Rie, it was a lot of like, will they, won't they,
Mm.
right? But how about you, James?
Yeah. What do you think, James?
I really want to see OG say something about anything because he's still so new to me, and this entire episode had like nothing to do with him. So
Mm.
I'm
Right.
just like, hey, what happened? He's new, he's fresh. How come we didn't see him? So I hope we see more of him. I also want to see more of Momo, whether that be with or without OG. I just want to see more of her. In terms of like her arc, I don't really know what else she's gonna do, which makes me
Yeah.
nervous because she's done a lot, and
Mm.
maybe her time at the house could be dwindling. I don't know. I like her
Don't
a
you
lot, so
dare!
I don't know.
Don't you
know.
dare jinx it!
I don't
If you're
know.
right, I will be mad at you
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
because you jinxed it.
Good
Even
point,
though
man.
this happened like years
Point.
ago.
I know.
But yeah, just overall, like more OG, some more Momo, and yeah, I don't know, just more of them and a little less of Tecchan, just so when we get more of Tecchan later, it'll be like refreshing, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is it for the episode, and I wanted to thank all of y'all for listening. But before we go, Cheska, our resident underwater TikToker,
Oh, sure.
uh, is there anything you'd like to promote? Anywhere that we can find you?
You can find me in Australia with the fishes, Nemo and Dory.
All right.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, you can find me at Cheska Camille _ and you'll find my TikTok somewhere in the description. But yeah.
And Jay, where can we find you?
You can find me under the sea. I thought you were gonna say that, Cheska. I swear you're gonna say. I was like, oh my god. Anyways, you can find me at Instagram at FerJason, FerJayson. I'm also in Twitch, twitch.tv/FerJiggles. I am trying to buy or try to make a new PC or build a new PC. But man,
Yeah.
these parts are not helping because they're always sold out. So
Oh,
hopefully I'll get it
man,
placed soon.
yeah.
Besides that, this was a great episode. I think is one of the episodes we've been very divided and polarizing. I love it.
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Good,
I like
Good.
it.
good. But yeah,
And Tim, Mr. Just a Name, I guess. Where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. My tag is Timbit1997. You can find that down below in the description, as well as a link to my YouTube channel. It has one video as of now, and hopefully more in the coming days, times, whenever. Yes, awesome. Yeah, and that's where you can find me. And you can find me also here at We the Panel, a Terrace House podcast. And you can find this on YouTube as well as any other place you get your podcasts. So that's Spotify, that's Apple Podcasts, and that's Anchor. So yeah, remember not to forget.
what?
Okay.
Are you making your own saying?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna own it. I think that's it.
Okay.
Remember
okay.
not to forget.
Okay, and also, you can find us on all other podcasting platforms. We are on a bunch of like other ones that are not like as mainstream, but you can find us all there too. I do know that we have a few viewers from other podcasting platforms. So welcome. And if we do have any new subscribers, any new listeners, welcome to We the Panel. This has been, once again, it's been a great episode, a very divided episode, but it was a lot of fun. So what am I trying to say? Thank you. Thank you. For
Thank
watching.
you.
And of course, wear your masks. And Jay, leave us off with that final saying.
Sleep warmly.
Yeah, take care, y'all. Take care,
All
lovelies. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's your boy Tim here. We totally forgot to add this at the very end, but if you liked our content, please don't forget to drop a like down below, comments, and just say hi and what's up. So yeah, thanks.
For saying that.
Yeah, bye.
You wanna know
Cheska,
him?
how are you breathing underwater?
Okay, we gotta close out the episode. Okay, bye.